Know how I do it. I do it every Monday through Friday. But, today is different, right? Today's Friday, and I have a guest here. Now, I've been telling you guys for the last couple of days I'm going to have a guest here. And, you guys didn't believe me, but now you see, right? So now you see that I actually have live from Atlanta, Miss Stacia Harvey-Randall, Vice President of Black Women of Hospitality. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
This is great. So not real quick. I mean, I don't know how much time we have, and I'm here as long as you want to be here. So I mean that's just how it's gonna be. I mean, normally the daily check-ins, I try to limit it to about 30 minutes or so. But it's all about the conversation that we're gonna have, and I know it's an important conversation. Just to find out about you. First and foremost, we find out about you as a hotelier, and then we'll get into the purpose of the Black Women of Hospitality organization. How it got founded, how long it's been around, and what the purpose is, and what the purpose is. But before we get into that, I always ask people this. This is a segment that I do, and I'm gonna kind of incorporate that into this as well. Did you choose hospitality, or did hospitality choose you? How did you get into the hospitality or hospitality industry?
Hospitality definitely chose me. When I started, it was a front desk agent position in New Orleans, Louisiana, for one of the largest hotels in the city. And it was supposed to be a job just to help me get through college. I was actually studying to be a secondary education teacher, English, with a minor in journalism. So as I was working and going to school, I discovered how great it was to be in hospitality, and I just enjoyed the customer service. I was receiving all of these comment cards. I was getting motivated by my leaders. And I decided that I wanted to just change my major because I realized that I didn't want to teach anymore. I fell in love with the guests waiting for me to check them in, or calling me and saying, "Are you going to be there next month? I'm going to be in town." And I felt like I was the ambassador of the hotel in New Orleans. Everybody wanted to reach out to me, and it just was such a great, rewarding feeling that I wasn't receiving that when I was in school studying to be a teacher. So when I called my mom and my grandmother and told them that I was changing my major because I wanted to stay in hospitality and I could advance and make really good money, they were like, "Are you sure that's what you want to do?" And I'm like, "I am positively sure." I mean, I was taking my time during school, not worrying about, graduating on time. I was just enjoying working. And
Wow.
that's when I really found out that I truly, truly loved it. And one of my guests told me, "This is you. You're really good at this. You have a gift. Go after that. Don't worry about being a teacher. You could teach in hotels." And
Mm.
that's when I thought about it. And that's when my career began to take that shift.
Wow. That's great. That's great. I always tell people that no two people got in the industry alike, right? Everybody has a different path to getting to where they are. And I mean that's a great story right there. I appreciate you sharing that with us. So you started, when you were in college doing undergrad, you started as a front desk clerk. Now from there, where did you go from there? Once you graduated, did you become a supervisor, manager? Did you stay at the same hotel? How did it progress from there?
So by the time I graduated, I was an assistant front office manager. So I felt like I was winning. I was
Okay.
already I was already moving up, while everybody else was going meet with career services to see what jobs were going to be available for them when they graduate. I
Hmm.
already had a career, so I was passing the director of career services saying, "How you doing? You don't need to meet with me today. I have it all mapped out." They were like, "Okay." My work
Wow.
ethic was very strong. I believed in showing up and showing out every time I went to work. I took my work very, very seriously. I was I would say I was managing before I was a manager. I wanted everyone else to take the job seriously as well, but that wasn't everybody else's passion. So
Mm.
that's I started moving up to being a trainer. Then I became a front desk supervisor. Then I went to be a control clerk. I did various positions. So I ended at the assistant front office manager, and then Hurricane Katrina hit.
Mm.
But I did not allow Hurricane Katrina to take me on a detour. I still was like, okay, is the hotel coming back? I want to stay here in Louisiana. Is there another job for me? I had to change companies because at that time the hotel had to close and go through just some serious renovations.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I said, I really want to get into human resources. But at that time, it was very hard to get into human resources. So I was like, I'm going to use my operations experience to just get in with a new company, but I'm going to do something different. That's when I explored reservations.
Okay.
So I applied and received the position as a reservation supervisor. And within 90 days, one of my leader decided that she wanted to go on vacation on a cruise ship where I wasn't going to be able to call or nothing within my first 60 days. And when she came back from vacation, she said, well, this is your 90-day review and you're getting promoted. And I was like, wow. And she was like, yes, I've never went on a vacation where I have not received one phone call or somebody not trying to reach out to me about something going on at the hotel. You're ready for more responsibility. So they changed my title to communications manager. So I began to manage reservation agents and PBX. So that was a new experience outside of front office. And that is where I really gained the knowledge of managing people.
Okay. Wow.
It was an office of 7. It was all women. They had all different personalities. All of them had different work ethics. And it really challenged me as and then I'm young at the time. So,
Mm-hmm.
they're looking at me as, this young woman is coming in here. Who does she think she is? But, I worked besides them. It was nothing that I did not ask them to do that I was not willing to do myself.
Mm-hmm.
I worked any shift, whether it was morning, PM, overnight. I mean, I did a lot of things that I didn't want to do to get where I am today. And it was just a great lesson. And then after I left communications, that's when someone, looked and said, yeah, she wants to be in HR. I could see it. She's a people person. I found out a new director was there. As soon as it was his first day, and I walked up to him and said, how can I get into human resources? Because I know that you're going to need someone and I'm your person.
Wow. Wow. That's what it's all about. Because a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people wouldn't say that. They would not go and just basically, you already knew your path, your career path, right? You just wanted to let them know what was going to happen, and every now and then we do need someone along the way to assist us. But if we never let people know what we want to do, we're never going to achieve anything. So that is great information. And I'm glad you're saying that because there's people that coming behind us that, they may be in a similar situation. They may not know how to go about doing that, or maybe, some people are rising to the occasion, just like you rose to the occasion. You know what I mean? So, but it's always good to hear one's past, because like I said, no two people got in this industry together. Hey, we're on with Miss Stacia Harvey-Randall. She is the Vice President of Black Women of Hospitality. We're doing this is my daily check-in with Russell of Hotels, but we're doing a different spin today, right? We got, I'm having a conversation with Miss Harvey and Miss Randall, and we're talking about her career path, how she got in the hospitality industry, and did she choose hospitality? Did hospitality choose her? So it's an interesting thing. If you're just getting on right now, you need to do the replay, and because this is fire, okay? It's fire. So, but I appreciate. I see some comments coming in. I see Mr. Lonnie Wolf. Let me just put some comments on here. Lonnie Wolf in the house. Thank you so much, Lonnie Wolf. Lonnie Wolf is out there in Florida. He's a housekeeping expert, right? So thank you so much, Lonnie Wolf, for coming on. Lonnie Wolf also says, great job, love the passion. Yes, definitely. and then we have Miss Irene Ivanau.
That's
Great
my HR
history.
manager.
Okay, great
Yes,
history about speaking up. That's see, so she would know that, right?
you would know that.
Wow. Okay. So from there, you went from okay. How many properties did you go to? Did you move to different properties, or did you get your HR start at the same property, or did you go to another property to get your start in
I went
HR?
to another property because after I left communications manager, then here comes another hurricane, Hurricane Gustav.
Wow.
So
Darn.
so so this one, I decided to just get in the car and drive to Atlanta. And I realized that I had an ex coworker that was my manager that lived in Atlanta, and I happened to swing by and have lunch with her. And when I walked her back to her office, I saw that they had a job opening, and it said communications manager. And this was for 1,000 room property, which I was like, whoa, this would definitely be a challenge for me because now I'm probably going to go from 7 or 8 associates to maybe 12 or 14.
Mm.
So she had explained to me that the position had been open longer than 6 months. And I was like, is this the position for me? So I ended up, I was like, I'm going to apply for it. She's like, are you going to relocate? I'm like, if I get the job, I'm going to relocate. So I took a risk. I didn't know anything about Atlanta, but
Mm.
I knew I loved hospitality, and I knew that no matter how rough it was going to be, I would give it 2 years and I would give it a chance. I took a lot of risk in my career, and I'm glad that I did. I wasn't afraid. I didn't consult anybody about what I needed to do. If I saw the opportunity, I just went after it. Instead, I signed the offer letter, I packed up the car, and this is what's happening. And and
Wow.
and my mom and grandmother said, okay, here she goes again, so but they weren't saying anything because they saw positive results. They saw stability. They didn't
Hmm.
see me all over the place. I was
Hmm.
switching brands, but I wasn't switching the actual expertise and knowing that I wanted to be in hospitality. So they trusted that judgment.
Wow.
So I packed up everything. I became a communications manager. I was there for 2 years. And then I was like, okay, now I need to still try to get back into HR. And an opportunity opened in New Orleans for me to go back home again. Now
Mm.
I had to think about if I wanted to go back, but then I also thought about sometimes you have to take a step back to go forward.
Hello.
The position was very unique. It was an assistant hotel manager with HR responsibilities. When we called the hotel to find out what that consisted of, they were like, well, she could come on task force for Mardi Gras and help and see if this would be a good fit for her. So it was a 97-room boutique property where one day you are the housekeeping manager, the next day you
Mm.
are the front desk manager. You may have to go flip a burger or two on Fridays when the restaurant is busy. And the 20% of the hotel, the HR piece was just you may onboard someone maybe once a month. So you can give like a little orientation class, collect the vacation forms, make the name tags. And I'm just like, you know what? If this is what I have to do to prove myself and meet the right connections, I'm gonna go for it. Packed up my things, went back to New Orleans. It was a great experience. I was there a year and a half. And then I said, okay, I'm going to try again for HR. By that time, I had met connections. I was on calls with area directors. So they knew me. I only
Hmm.
did 20%, but I made it clear in every meeting this is not where I want to be. It's time for me to transition out of operations, and I want a full-time HR job. So when I interviewed for the HR manager job, that was the first thing I asked. Am I going to be going checking people in the room? Do I have to cook? Do I have to? They're like, no, you will not be doing any of that. I need you to be in HR and HR only. I'm like, bingo, let's go. But I'm thankful for that because I'm able to relate to so many different colleagues because I have
Exactly.
been in their position. I know what
Exactly.
it is to clean rooms. I know how it is to work in a hot kitchen and you get slammed with a bunch of tickets and your server calls off and you're cooking and you're placing it on the tray and bringing it out. I understand all of that. And it helps me when I'm able to coach people in operations because I've done it before.
Hmm.
So it's not like I can tell someone, oh, that's easy. I don't say that because it's not.
Exactly.
So I am grateful for those experiences. And then that's when I transitioned and was promoted to assistant director of HR. And that's where I became stagnant. I had been in
Mm.
the role for 6 years and I was not moving. And I wasn't moving because of me. I was afraid. I was comfortable being under seasoned directors, and I was still trying to find my style.
Okay.
I had received a lot of feedback about, sometimes she's, too intense. She sounds like a professor when she's speaking. She dresses too corporate. I mean, just a lot of different stereotypes before I was actually able to prove myself through projects and, connecting with leaders. So I
Hmm.
had to work, I'm in there and I'm working, but I'm just like, how can I stand out? Where is the Stacia style? Where is, when I'm not there, someone realizes I'm not there. I
Mm.
wanted to be that person where, if I leave, they're telling someone else, you have some hard shoes to fill. That's what it was for me. I wasn't
Hmm.
worrying about anyone else. I just wanted to be great at what I did. And I didn't want to have to change who I was to be that.
Yes.
So for 6 years, I was afraid because I was allowing all those feedback conversations to play into my head.
Mm.
When I had to realize you could still be yourself. Maybe you just need to find the role or the company that will allow you to be you.
Yes.
And that may take time. And it did. Because now that I'm an HR director, that position kind of just fell into my lap. I still was not interested in applying. I had to have someone see me from the outside on LinkedIn to say, you would be great here. Like, why are you not a director? What are you doing? And it wasn't a
Mm.
reflection of my leaders because my leaders were great and they were telling me all the time, you can do it. I just don't know what you're waiting for. It was me. So when I finally decided to step out and take the risk of being a director, now it's like I will never sit somewhere for so long and not know where I'm going. That's how I've had the vision of Black
Hmm.
women in hospitality. Get
Okay.
in there as a director. You have already met your goal, but now it's time for you to give back.
Mm.
Give back to others, pour into them, tap into women that are experiencing things like you and have testimonies like you, and they look like you, and you could
Hmm.
tell them you can make it. No matter what your barrier is, you can make it. You just have to block out the noise, believe in yourself, and keep going.
Yes.
So I happened to meet a young lady at a vision board party. It was
Okay.
weird. This is how Black women in hospitality came about.
Okay.
We were in there doing vision boards. The woman, which is my founder, was the only woman in the room that had a hotel background. This is how I say, here we go. It's the calling.
Hmm.
It's the calling. I could have went to a vision board party and decided that I wanted to sell makeup, hair products, make candles, do anything
Hmm.
else. All of that was there.
Yeah.
But to walk amongst a room of 150 people and you run into someone that
Hmm.
is in hotels, and the first thing she said is, We're going to do some big things. I feel we're going to do some big things. Now, I took we exchanged information. Me and this woman connected instantly. We were texting. We were saying, what are we going to do to change the game with hospitality? Because we want to be game changers. We're not worrying about a title or position. It's what are you doing for people? That's what it's about. And that's when we said, let's form a nonprofit that will offer educational resources. It will be a safe space where women of color will be able to come in and discuss their obstacles. And then we could help them, connect them with the right person, give them coaching about self-awareness, things that they need to improve on with their skill set, send them to workshops. And that's how the vision was formed. It was a vision by God, and He wants us all to use our gifts. And I know that this is my gift. So we just went out there. We just started creating it. We just started building followers. We just opened up a group. We didn't have a handbook. We didn't have anybody sit down and tell us what we needed to do. This is really built on passion and drive. That's why I always say hospitality is not a career. It is a calling. And it's not for everybody.
Not for everybody. Exactly.
You know, our symbol is the pineapple because we are here to serve one woman at a time. And if you are not in hospitality to serve, you are in it for the wrong reason.
Wow. Wow. You I got nothing to say. Okay. Thanks for coming on. No.
I'm sorry. I didn't wait for no questions. I just segued my way in.
This is a great conversation, and I'm not only one thinking this is a great conversation. Now, as you're speaking, I'm not cutting you off, of course, because I want you to continue to tell your story. Right, Lonnie Bishan Josie says, "Great." Lonnie Wolf says, "I want to hire her now. When she speaks, all bubbles like fine champagne when open. Love it. No risk, no gain." Then we have Miss Robin Coleman come in. She says, "Hi there, rock stars. Speak Queen." And then Irene Ivanal, "Giving back. Make it happen. You can do it." Beautiful, beautiful words. And then she says, "Wow." And then Robin Coleman says, "Love it." So, this is great. I mean, your experience, how you got in, how you were so intentional about what you wanted to do. And how you got there, right? And one thing I just ask is, what was that when you were kind of stagnant in your position, and you said, and there was positions that were open? What was that aha moment for you, though? There had to be like an aha moment for you to say, okay, now it's time for me to actually move in from being under someone to having my own, department, to be an HR director. What was that exact aha moment for you?
At one of the hotels that I was working, we had formed a diversity committee, and I had went to the first diversity meeting. And my general manager talked about, why are we always saying that we're not ready for something? I felt like that meeting was for me. And believe it or not, that was the first meeting and the last meeting that I attended at that property, because I went on to become an HR director. So that's when that light bulb hit, because I was like, he's talking to me. He was like, do you know half the time people take positions and they're not ready? They learn it when they get there. So if you're already doing it, then why are you afraid? Yeah. And I really went home and, had that conversation with my husband. He was like, I've been told you that. I'm just waiting to see whenever the light bulb will turn on for you. He was like, I'm starting to feel like that's not what you want. You just comfortable. And it was. I became complacent. And I'm like, I'm just comfortable. And it was okay. I was walking around saying, oh, I just want to be a number 2. I'm okay with being an assistant director. And then I had to really realize, Stacia, how you going to be a game changer if you're not willing to step up to the plate and take on a challenge? What's the worst thing you could do? Fail. And you failed before. Get up and start over.
Yes.
If you
Yes.
don't fail, you don't learn.
Wow. Exactly. Exactly. That's the thing. People think that we got to go through life being perfect. Well, you don't learn anything if you go through life being perfect. You have to make pitfalls. You have to make mistakes or whatever. And you got to dust yourself up. You got to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep it going. Okay, we're going to get into black women of hospitality. So let me just read, who we are. And I'm just reading from the website, okay, if that's
Okay.
okay. It says, we are an organization of women of color, are in the hospitality industry, or have an interest in joining the wonderful world of hospitality. The mission is to unite, inspire, and empower women of color in the hospitality industry by providing resources, support, and motivation to achieve personal and professional growth. We are devoted to increasing diversity and inclusion across hospitality, travel, and leisure. The Black Women of Hospitality organization will carry out research, share best practices, co-create solutions, run webinars, and events dedicated to ensuring women in our sector are not being held back and can progress their careers into senior leadership and hotel ownership. This is great. This is great. So, explain a little bit of okay. I know when I came through the industry, and maybe I'm probably a few years older than you, but I still went through things, right? I still need people to be on my side to get to be a general manager or to be a director of sales and marketing. What were some of the pitfalls that you would say that you went through that you could help someone, go through, at this stage in their career?
My first pitfall was not being able to get into HR because of the lack of education.
Okay.
I was taking too long to get my degree and positions were opening up. And my first general manager told me, you will not get into HR without a degree.
Mm.
That wasn't really on him. That was really on me.
Okay.
And I'm
Okay.
glad he told me that because, I was, like I said, I was moving up in my career. So I didn't think that timing was important. I didn't think that a degree was important because I was getting promoted without it.
Gotcha.
But when I tried to transfer into that role and they wanted someone with a degree, the door closed. That forced me to go back to school, continue school, and say, now I need to go to summer school. Now I need to pick up night classes. I need to get out. I need to get out because I am my own barrier because of education.
Gotcha.
So if you are in a situation right now where you can go back to school, you have the time to do it, finish school. Do not let education be a barrier to hold you back.
Okay. Very good.
The second barrier I would say is fear. If it doesn't make you afraid, it's not elevating you. And I had to learn that. When you're complacent and you're comfortable and you're not afraid, you just accept what it is. You don't even care about what if I did something different? How can I take this to the next level? So when you start feeling afraid, that's a great feeling because it's a new challenge. It's a new door, especially if it's something that hasn't been created before. You know how long we've been in hospitality and I have not seen any groups like this? And I'm saying because it's a calling, it was meant for me and my founder to establish this. It was meant for me to be a game changer to do this. This is why it's very important to know your purpose and live out your purpose. And this organization is our purpose. And we want the world to know about it.
Yes.
They overlook hoteliers. They overlook the airline industry, and they definitely overlook the restaurant. When we have all of these conferences, the Sherm Conference, the Essence Festival, I mean, all of these things that happen, when you look at it, if you didn't have anybody in hospitality, if you didn't have anyone in the airlines or anyone working the restaurants, your conventions or your festivals would not be successful.
Correct.
So when are we going to be put at the forefront as the pineapples? As saying we are happy that you are here serving us And we want to be the voice for that. We want to raise awareness so people will, when COVID happened, we couldn't find any of those people during COVID when there were so many layoffs that were calling saying, hey, I heard you work at such and such. Can you give me a really good rate? You have any contact at this hotel? All of those people were silent during COVID. Mm. The hotel industry felt alone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's when I sat down and I thought about that. I'm like, we're alone. We're crying. We are out here trying to make it. We took jobs outside of the industry just to wait till the industry came back. We lost a lot of people in the industry, but we also gained a lot of people back in the industry because why? It was their calling. Mm-hmm. They were only willing to do something temporarily because they wanted to come back to what they loved. We need to be recognized for that. That's a talent.
Yeah, because everybody cannot deal with a lot of things that go on in hotels, and unless you've been inside the trenches, so to speak, you don't understand. And a lot of people from the outside don't understand what really goes on or what it takes to put on an event or to work at the front desk or to deal with the things that the front desk has to deal with, because everything, regardless of where something happens, it always comes to the front desk and those people have to deal with whatever issues that have happened. So this is good. I mean, I love this. Okay. I see another comment from Miss Robin Coleman. Stacia, I missed your last event here in Atlanta. Can you provide info on your next mixer?
You didn't miss it, Miss Robin. It's tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. at the Starling Hotel. So you're right on time.
Wow. So the organization, okay, is it and I'm just asking because I don't know, is it just limited to people in the South Atlanta area or
no. This is worldwide. The actual vision is to have a chapter in every state.
Okay.
It's just Atlanta and Florida is where it's originated.
Okay. When did it start? When did you begin it?
April the 14th.
Of this year?
Of this year.
Oh, really?
Yes. I'm not playing no games, Russell.
Okay. Oh, see, I didn't know it. Okay. So I'm on the cusp. I'm on the cusp of this.
Cusp. Yes. Look, you're gonna be part of the segment that says "Rising with the Black Women of Hospitality."
Exactly. That's what's going on. I'm definitely on board. Okay. If it's anything like this conversation we've been having, I'm on board, lady. Okay, let's do it. I'm gonna be the biggest supporter. I am gonna be your biggest supporter.
Yeah, this is the good times. This is the foundation right here. We're building it together. And we know that it's going to manifest in something huge. That's why we celebrate all of our successes. We've only been doing this for 4 months, and I feel like we have accomplished more than someone with a business plan for the next 5 years.
Okay.
And that's because why? The other pitfall that I had was not taking risk. I'm here today to tell you, you have to take a risk. We're taking one right now. We don't care if we get one follower. We've touched one person that will eventually go and spread the news. We can't worry about who's not watching, who's not accepting, who's not asking to be in the group. Because guess what? It's not your purpose to be in the group if you're not in the group. I want people that are interested, that are engaged, that could pour out to our women. So if you're not in it, it's not your calling, and I'm not upset. I have to still follow through with our purpose.
Exactly. Don't get caught up in, focus on what your dream is or what you want to accomplish, right? Don't get caught up on all the people, the noise, or the people that are not that are not on board. I said the same. It's funny you should say that because I was talking about, podcasting yesterday, totally unrelated to this, but it's about when I first started doing this kind of hospitality show, right? Where I didn't worry about people that weren't watching. I was worried about catching the people that were watching, that were interested in it. And if I started off with one listener or one follower, then I was fine because I knew eventually it would grow, right? But and the average podcast, and I mentioned this, there's 4 million podcasts out there currently, 4 million. But the average length of a podcast only goes 6 episodes. Okay, so they're not all active. I've done 212 podcast shows, so that just tells me that's rare. Thank you. That's just rare air. But I didn't get caught up in naysayers and the noise and the negativity. I just knew all I had to do was reach every week one person, and just continue and continue and continue. And this is where we are today. So I mean, it's the same thing that you've done your whole career, right? You charted your own course. You knew what you wanted to do. You know what you wanted to achieve. And when you got there, you said, okay, I don't want people to look like me to go through the same issues and challenges that I went through. So let's start this organization. And it aligned for you to meet someone else. And as a co-founder, you guys are now, doing big things. And it's only since April. I mean, that's the crazy part. That is the crazy part. So what's next? Go ahead.
And I just want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on your platform, because I do a lot of outreach day and night.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And there are people that will read it. You see that they read it in LinkedIn. They don't comment. And once again, like I said, you don't get upset about that, because if they don't, just like I tell my founder, if they don't respond, that's not the platform we need to be on.
Mm-hmm.
We want people that want to put us on their platform because they care about hospitality.
Exactly.
Not because they just don't have anything else to do or they need a speaker on their show.
Mm-hmm.
We want to be where we're wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for wanting us to be on your platform.
Oh, yeah. You're welcome. Thank you. Please. Yeah, I'll just tell just a quick brief story. I think it was just last week. She reached out to me and said she wanted to be on. And I'm like, heck yeah. I didn't do no research. I just said, yes, let's come up with a date and let's make it happen. And the date happened to be today. And that was, I had never met her before. But I was definitely intrigued. And then, of course, I did my research after I okayed it. Then I did my research. But, I've gone through some of the same things, growing in the hospitality space. It was definitely a calling. It was not, it's never been a job, right? It's not just as my career. No, it's been a calling to do it. I mean, and you said it so eloquently. I never could have said it like that, right? But it's definitely, to be in this space, to be in this industry is a calling. It ain't just a job. You can't look at it like that. And I look at all the people that have been successful in the industry. It's the same thing. It's been a calling for them as well. And regardless of what, the noise that has happened outside, COVID and those people that stuck with it, I mean, because it was their calling. The people that jumped ship and left and never came back, well, it was really never their calling. You know what I mean? So yeah. So I have another comment was to say, Stacia, we are waiting on your book to come out. That's what Miss Robin Coleman said.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for that idea.
All right. So what do you want people to know about Black Women of Hospitality? What do you want people to know? How can people join? What events are these events? Do you have are these virtual events? What kind of events can they be looking forward to seeing in the future?
Okay, so now we are monthly. We have what we call the Black Women Power Hour. So once a month, we have a call that is a Zoom call that everybody can join in. And we always, have showcase a speaker. This month on July 27th at 8 p.m., we are going to have Miss Devon Reeves. I don't know if you are familiar with her.
Yes, I know Miss Reeves. Yes.
Yes, and I had been following her during COVID. Actually, when I didn't have a job, I had reached out to her and asked if she needed anybody, on her team with the Vaughn group. And she said no, not at the moment, because she was still working through a lot of the strategic things of her business. And then look at her now. Now she's going to be a
Mm-hmm.
guest speaker on our platform. So I'm very grateful for that. We have a hospitality mixer on tomorrow where we have a few ladies that are interested in coming out just to see what the hospitality organization is all about and, network. We're going to try to give an event every quarter here in Atlanta, whether it's an outing, a brunch, a workshop, or even a community service event, because we need people to see us.
Mm-hmm.
But down the line, our future plans for next year is to have the first Black Women of Hospitality conference. We want a
Mm.
3-day conference to include a career fair. And then we also want to have the Black Women of Hospitality Pineapple Awards, where we will be recognizing our hospitality heroes. So we have some things, and we also want to give our first hospitality 5K walk.
Wow.
So there are some large projects, but I am more than certain that we will be able to accomplish those goals as long as we stay on track and stay focused.
Wow.
So
This is
if you
great.
want to join the organization, you can join through, of course, you can follow us, even if you don't want to join, but you want to support and share the information for anyone in your family, in your network that is in restaurant industry, that is in hotels, in the airline. They can follow us on Instagram at Black Women Hospitality. They can follow us now on TikTok. They can also follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and then we have our website www.blackwomenhospitality.com. And then if you just want to support, we have fundraisers out there. We have hospitality mugs. We have hospitality t-shirts. We're doing a digital dozen campaign with Krispy Kreme. So it's plenty things for you to get involved, even if you really don't want to be involved, but you just want to support. But most importantly, if you could just share the information on your social media, somebody will see it that really needs this group. That could be the best thing that you can do for this group.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I'm gonna do whatever I can. I mean, can I join? Can I join?
Absolutely.
Just the
You know,
energy alone.
I had a lot of men asking, and we are talking about eventually down the line that we would like to have our Black Women of Hospitality advocates, where
Okay.
we would have our men step up to be able to be the supporter, because sometimes it takes a man to close the deal. So, we're going to look at some opportunity for that. But right now, we really want to focus on our women.
No, I got you, and I understand that, and I respect that. But if you ever, I mean, the platform is here for you guys to use. I mean, if someone else wants to come on and do a daily check-in with me, if you want to come on again, and you have events and you want to make sure people know about it, because I post these on everything, not just on LinkedIn and YouTube, but it goes on Facebook, it goes on Twitter as well. So I'm here to assist in anywhere I can. I love the organization. I love the fire. I love everything, the enthusiasm. Yeah, so this is great. I love the story. You know what I mean? It's all about the story, how you got started, and you're not shy about letting people know what's going on, and go for what you know, go for what you want in life, right? I mean, it's about life, not just about your career, your choice in career or being in the hospitality industry, but a lot of things that you're saying is about life, because sometimes we'll just sit back and just let things happen. You know what I mean? Instead of kind of taking control of it, or going after what we want. And you definitely embodied that just from, and just from all the stuff that we heard in this conversation. And this has been great. I mean, I didn't know how this Friday was going to start off. because it's 9 o'clock in the morning for me, right? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this thing at 9 o'clock in the morning. Okay, how is it gonna be? But you know what? I'd have been up at 6 in the morning to do this with you,
Right,
okay? Because
right. Thank you
this
so much. Thank you. I appreciate it.
this is great. This is great. All right. Well, you got anything else? I mean, you got anything else to add before we get off of this? Because this has been great. It's been inspiring. Definitely exciting, and a lot of good comments. I mean, anytime you have comments, I mean, it's been fire. So no, I appreciate your time. I
Thank
appreciate the
you so much.
enthusiasm. I
Y'all, and
appreciate us
thank
learning.
everyone for watching. Thank everyone for watching.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So we definitely will be in touch. Like I said, if you ever have any questions or you need anything, I mean, please feel free to reach out. Let me just ask this. You mentioned this earlier, but how did you find me? Because I always want to know how you found or how I'm found, from certain people.
I did a search on LinkedIn under hospitality podcasting, and I saw that you were a man of color, as well as you have received some accolades for being in the top for a hospitality podcast, and you had a strong operations hotel background. So I felt we had an immediate connection, and that's what made me decide to send you a message. I was always taught you'll never know unless you ask.
you you are right. You are right. And I thank you so much for reaching out. And that just goes to show, because like I said, you don't reach everybody, but you reach the important people when you do your podcast and things like that. Because everything that I do does not resonate with everyone. Everyone is not for me, just like I ain't for everybody. Okay. And I understand that. Right. And I like you said, you don't get mad about certain things. You just keep it moving, because eventually you're going to be for someone, right? Someone's going to get, and I appreciate that. I appreciate how you found me and what you thought about just reading what I did or how I got in the industry and all that kind of stuff. So that makes that sounds good. I love that. I love that. So, okay. So I'm departing, whatever you want to say, the show's yours. How you want to end this?
Well, I just want to say thank you to everyone that watched. Thank you, Russell, for giving me an opportunity. Just like I said, Black Women of Hospitality is not only an organization, it's a movement. And we're here to motivate, inspire, and educate our women of color in the hospitality, hotel, restaurant, and airline industry. And if you know anyone that can benefit from this great organization, please have them reach out to us or reach out to me personally. Thank you so much for spending time with me today.
Thank you so much. That's it. You guys have a great day. Thank you so much for joining this daily check-in. I'll do it again starting on Monday, but thank you so much. I appreciate Miss Stacia Harvey-Randall, Vice President of Black Women of Hospitality, for coming on and spending a couple minutes with us and just sharing her story and sharing her commitment to the industry. And we know now that, it's a calling. It's not just you're selecting a career or whatever. No, she was called to do what she does. And you can definitely see it in all this enthusiasm that she shared with us. So you guys have a great weekend. Appreciate you. And we'll see you soon.